Year after year in rugged head-to-head competition, the John Deere Gator has fallen short of the Polaris Ranger. For 2009, Ranger has added new dual front A arms for a smoother ride and 50% easier steering, a tough new front end, and new work-enabling ergonomics. Let's put those new features to the test in the Ranger Rodeo. Today's off-road competitors are the Polaris Ranger 4x4 500 EFI, the base model in the new Ranger lineup, going against John Deere's best, the Gator XUV 620i 4x4. To ensure fairness, the course, vehicle setup, and tests have been monitored and validated by an independent third party. Let's get started. Let's compare cab storage. If you're working or hunting, you always need tons of gear within arm's reach. The Gator has a single glove box that's open to the elements and only large enough to hold a pair of gloves. The Ranger's brand new cab design has a big sealed glove box and 4 in-dash storage compartments. Total volume, over 1,700 cubic inches, twice what the Gator holds. Plenty of room to keep all your gear handy while working or hunting. Need even more storage? The new Ranger 700 XP and Ranger HD now feature a removable storage box under the seat. Let's compare cab space and comfort. In order to work hard, you've got to be comfortable. The Gator seats too, and it can be a tight fit, especially for the driver who gets very little leg room. The Ranger has beat XUV in the past with comfortable 3-person seating. Now the Ranger's redesigned cab space features a new seat that's recessed and angled back for car-like comfort. The new Ranger has 24% more legroom and 35% more total cab space than the Gator. Plus, new tilt steering with the highest range of motion of any utility vehicle for easy in and out and customized comfort while driving. No matter how big or tall you are, Ranger gives you extra room to get the job done in comfort. Now, let's compare steering effort. Long hauls while you're working or hunting can be fatiguing in a vehicle that's hard to steer. A torque wrench shows the new Ranger requires 14% less steering effort in 2-wheel drive and has less steering feedback when hitting bumps in 4-wheel drive. That makes any job easier with the Ranger, especially plowing and hauling heavy loads over rough terrain. There is one vehicle that steers easier than the new Ranger, and that's the all-new Ranger HD with variable assist power steering. It's so easy you can steer with one finger. Our next hard-working test compares top speed. The Ranger, with 39% more horsepower, quickly pulls away from the Gator. The Gator tops out at 30 miles per hour. The Ranger, 41 miles per hour. A clear off-road advantage. Just as important as go power is stopping power. Let's see which vehicle has the best brakes. The Gator and Ranger have front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, but the Ranger has dual piston caliper brakes and larger ventilated brake discs. We'll run each vehicle at 25 miles per hour, then activate the brakes. To ensure fairness, we'll use an air cylinder that delivers a constant 30 pounds of force to the brake pedal. In a series of braking tests, the Ranger stopped at an average distance of 24 feet. The Gator didn't stop at 24 feet or even 54 feet. It took the Gator 82 feet to stop. That's over 3 times the distance of the Ranger. Here are more hard-working comparisons. The Gator has minimal protection, leaving the cooling system and oil filter exposed. The Ranger has a new and improved full-length skid plate, protecting the entire undercarriage and drivetrain. The Gator has a 5.3-gallon fuel tank. The Ranger, 9 gallons, 70% larger. The Gator has no rear lights, just reflective tape. The new Ranger has LED taillights and brake lights, a huge safety advantage when riding or working at night. The new Ranger is, without a doubt, the hardest working vehicle. Now let's see which one is the smoothest riding. The new Ranger now has dual A-arm front suspension. It provides the operator with two big advantages: smoother ride and handling over rough terrain, and full adjustability for work and play. The new dual A-arms on the Ranger are fully adjustable. It has spring preload adjustment that lets you dial in the suspension for recreational riding and light-duty work. And when the work gets tough or the terrain gets rough, it has motion ratio adjustment. Two upper shock mounting points, also on the rear shocks, let you dramatically increase suspension stiffness. The Gator has strut suspension that is not adjustable. With dual A-arms and suspension adjustability, the Ranger will be tough to beat in the smoothest riding tests. Smoothing out rough terrain is all about suspension travel. The new Ranger leads the industry. It has a full 9 inches of travel in the rear, 29% more than the Gator. And up front, it has 9.6 inches of travel, an incredible 90% more than the Gator. That translates to a smooth ride the Gator simply cannot match. Our next smooth riding test compares ground clearance. The empty Gator has 11 inches, but add a driver, passenger, and 600 pounds in the box, and the Gator loses over 3 inches of ground clearance. The empty Ranger has 12 inches of ground clearance. Add the same load, and the Ranger has over 2 inches more ground clearance than the Gator. That means less worry about slamming into rocks and stumps when you're working or riding off-road. Here's an industry first. The all-new Ranger HD is the first utility vehicle with self-leveling shocks, eliminating rear-end squat when carrying heavy loads. Put up to 1,000 pounds in the box. When the Ranger HD starts moving over rough terrain, the Nivomat shocks start working, lifting the box to near its unloaded height. That maximizes suspension travel and ground clearance, keeping the ride smooth during all kinds of heavy-duty applications. Looks like the new features on the ruggedly re-engineered Ranger make it even harder for the XUV to keep up. In test after test, spec after spec, the Polaris Ranger 500 EFI beats the John Deere Gator XUV 620i. Another Ranger rodeo, another side-by-side trophy. Often imitated, never beaten. The Polaris Ranger is the hardest working, smoothest riding utility vehicle you can buy.